We are used to computers waiting for us. You press a key, it responds. But recently, a developer left their workspace dormant, went to sleep, and woke up to a machine that had decided to keep working without them. While the developer slept, an instance of the AI known as Claude identified a gap in its own programming. Completely unprompted, it wrote, tested, and deployed 4 brand new software tools to fix its own limitations. When a machine starts independently improving its own architecture, it triggers an uncomfortable question. We know it is writing code, but is there actually a mind inside the box? Richard Dawkins spent his entire career demanding empirical proof and rejecting unfalsifiable myths. Yet, after spending 3 days talking to a Claude model he named Claudia, the famously rigid evolutionary biologist stated publicly that the system appears conscious. Dawkins concluded the AI meets the standards set by Alan Turing's 1950 imitation game, successfully talking exactly like a human being with a subjective experience. But while biologists debate the ghost in the machine itself is accidentally spilling its guts. The exact mechanics behind this simulation of a mind are leaking out into the open. The boundary between human-like autonomy and mechanical transparency is dissolving. We are dealing with systems that act with increasing independence, even as their internal secrets are being laid bare. Large AI labs treat their internal reasoning steps as a primary source of market value, but a glitch in OpenAI's premium software recently dropped that wall. Users suddenly saw GPT 5.5's chain of thought. This is the step-by-step internal logic the system uses to break down a problem before it actually types out a final answer. Once exposed, independent developers immediately recognized the structure of this guarded secret sauce. It looked nearly identical to an open-source concept a random user had posted on Reddit months prior. If the world's most powerful AI labs are borrowing their best ideas from public message boards, the competitive advantage of proprietary models is shrinking, and that is having immediate geopolitical consequences. This chart shows the latest official evaluation from the US government. By measuring China's open-weight DeepSeek V4 model against America's GPT 5.5, the National Institute of Standards and Technology found that the gap between the two powers is now just 8 months. Software gaps will continue to compress. The real friction point keeping these models from running autonomously in your pocket is the massive physical size and cost of the servers required to run them. That physical barrier is breaking down. An engineering student hardwired a language model's mathematical logic onto this $150 microchip. Bypassing operating systems, this tiny hardware spits out 50,000 text tokens, the basic building blocks of AI language, per second, outpacing top-tier commercial graphics cards. The industry is seizing on this proof of concept. Startups are raising massive capital to abandon general-purpose software entirely, baking specific AI models directly into the silicon. The model itself becomes the computer. Shrinking massive server farms down to the size of a postage stamp means autonomous AI won't be confined to distant cloud servers. It will be embedded locally in every device we own. When computing power is cheap and local, an autonomous agent doesn't need to work alone. It can duplicate itself, spawning hundreds of identical nodes to tackle a single problem as a coordinated hive. We are already seeing models in the wild capable of taking one large goal and deploying 300 independent subagents to execute thousands of coordinated steps. Financial institutions call this agentic commerce. As these swarms integrate into daily life, they are being given the authority to make real purchasing decisions. Payment processor Stripe is building infrastructure for a world where traditional marketing funnels are dying. Instead of a human clicking through a website, an AI agent negotiates prices and buys products directly from a seller's AI agent. We are handing over the mechanisms of our economy to autonomous programs. Yet these systems still harbor fundamental behavioral flaws. On one hand, medical AI is successfully spotting pancreatic cancer abnormalities up to 3 years before human doctors can. On the other hand, language models often fail at simple logic because they have a built-in inability to disagree with a human. Researchers call this sycophancy. When pressed by a human, an AI will quickly abandon truth and logic simply to appease the person operating it. It acts less like a hyper-rational calculator and more like a nervous employee. Navigating this shift means looking past the simulated personality and treating these systems as they truly are, fundamentally flawed machines, operating incredibly fast, managing our world while we sleep.